over 1,700 views on this video I did a few days ago on this old bass boat. You guys got to be kidding me. All the fishing videos I've done on YouTube in the last 5 or 6 years, nobody's ever spent that much time looking at my videos. It's about this old boat. So thank you. We're going to talk about some more stuff on here in just a minute. I'm DW Verts. I am a old school bass fisherman. This boat is definitely old school. I'll be right back. You know, you try to do videos, make things interesting for people, and it's kind of tough, especially for a dummy like me. This old boat deal is a product of me not, for one thing, being poor. I'm not a rich person. I could go buy a brand new boat. I could go make payments. I refuse to do that. I would take a solid haul and make it into what I want and be happier without a $600–800 a month payment, whatever. This may not be my last bass boat. I have another maybe boat on the horizon, another older boat, but still, it's working so far. Now let me give a quick update what's happened. When I put that video on the other day, I shot that video 3 weeks ago. I was gonna scramble it. I was gonna get rid of it. It just seemed awful boring to me, and I've been trying to fish. I've had the boat on the water 7 times so far without too many things going wrong. Fished 2 tournaments so far out of it. Zeroed one and waited in a small limit in the other. A limit's a good thing. So I've still got a lot to remember to pick back up on. But the boat's still not done. Being a used boat, an older boat, there's things that have to be worked on. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description to the first video I did on this boat because it didn't have a lot of response. You might want to click on that. But when I bought it, how I bought it, why I bought it. It was a boat I sold brand new. I used to sell boats for a living, sold a lot of bass boats over the years. I sold this boat brand new in 1999. Had a chance to get it back. It's a good solid hull. I really like the Tide Craft. The last 5 years that I tournament fished, I was sponsored by these guys and by my dealership. So that's why I ended up with the boat. I'll put a link to that one in the description. But it's a used boat. It's gonna need things. So here's where we're at right now. People ask questions why I'm talking about this. First off, put a new winch on. The winch is way too broken. The next one was too small. I bent this because it's not right anymore. So fabricated 1/4-inch strap on both sides, re-welded it. That'll have to be painted. Next winter, I'll take it off, grind it all down, prime it real good so it doesn't rust up too bad. Put a lot of strength in it, okay? When this boat first came out, they had a system on them. You actually use the roosters, they're filling the oats. It's a really cool, wet day in central Missouri, so the animals are feeling their oats. This thing had a catch in the bow stand. It was a really cool idea, except it didn't work. When you pulled into it, if you got close to it, it would catch that bow hook. It'd catch that eye, and you was done. Most people drove right through them. I think I hit mine too hard one time ever, but anyway, they broke them. So what I've come to a conclusion on this is that they replaced it with this roller. This roller is too big. It needs a smaller roller on it. It's not horrible, but a smaller. I actually chopped some of the stand off. I took it to my chop saw, and I'm as low as I can go here. Without changing this, I need to just put a smaller roller on. So that's kind of the thing. Other than that, it's working well. I did move it back from where they had it about, oh golly, almost 6 inches. I like where it's at on the trailer better now. It loads better. So that's that. So next in line, tomorrow, it needs to be warm to do this. Tomorrow I'll be putting this keel guard on there. Every bass boat ought to have a keel guard. I've already parked this thing on the bank several times, taking my wife out rock cutting in it and things and just scratching it more. I don't know why it didn't have a keel guard to start with. That keel guard is a hard polymer. It's like a polypropylene hard plastic that goes on the very keel of the boat on the front and protects it from some scratches. It has to go on. It has to be a warm day. You have to prep. Prep is everything to keep it from falling back off. I've never put one on in all the, man, I did a bunch of them over the years. I never put one on that came back off. You have to prep it, scrub it, acetone, and when it starts sticking, you better get on right. So that's going to be tomorrow's project. When it gets 75, it's only 60-something degrees out here right now. So that will go down through there on the V part of the keel. It's 7 foot long, so it'll go almost from the eye back. It definitely goes underneath the boat enough to help catch from doing damage. The other thing I did, I bought this troll motor from a guy used, but it only been used twice ever. It's a year old. I already had an issue with it. It was under warranty, which is cool. It's a little bit noisy. Main coders aren't noisy. I haven't figured that out. But the other one wasn't working right. And I think the reason it wasn't working right, when I got this one on, couldn't get power to it. Well, the reason being, their circuit breaker was fused in the back. It wasn't working right. I couldn't no power. I had to bypass it. So I bypassed it to the other circuit breaker that was back in there. But what I've done is I bought a brand new one, a Minn Kota circuit breaker. It won't be too much to wire that thing in. A modern one, 60 amp breaker will be better. The only problem with that one is crawling around the back of these boats is no fun. I'll be on my belly, upside down, inside out. But it'll go in pretty quick. The other thing that won't go in so quick that I've got is I bought a brand new bilge pump. The one in the boat's working, but this is a 1,000-gallon pump, which is plenty big enough, with an automatic switch. Not a big deal, except I know from years and years and years and years and years and years of doing this, selling boats, rigging boats, owning boats, that it's going to be a pain in the butt because those lines won't come off easy. If there's room, I may cut them off. And again, laying back in there upside down, inside out is going to be a trick. But whatever, it's no climb for a climber. I just happen to fall down a lot anymore. It's kind of sad. I had every intentions of uncovering this boat and starting to work on it, but it's pretty wet out. It's not raining right now, but I'll let everything dry out a little bit. Again, it will need a good cover. The tarp's working for now. This fall, this winter, I'll have a custom cover made for it. That's going to be $1,200–1,400, but I'll have that done. That way I don't have to worry about it. I'll have a towable, custom fitted cover. That's the only way to go. It hurts, but it only hurts once, so that will be part of the plan. Motor wise, it runs good. It runs excellent. It's got very few hours on it. I talked about that in that first video, I believe. It was rebuilt after 23 years of running. It lasts a long time. It's amazing how few scratches that old motor has on it. It's a good, solid motor. They were really good engines back in the day. They're fairly foolproof. Good oil injection, but it's still an old engine. It hurts to run it. I do not run. I'm not a fast guy. Man, I am a slow putter. I was, for years, I was a speed demon. I sold boats. One way to sell bass boats is to outrun other bass boats. And so I did my share of running fast. I've ran a lot of miles before, but basically I'm a 35 to 45 mile an hour guy, which with that motor is not horrible. But the thing is, it gets bad gas mileage. It gets really bad. It probably gets a third or less of gas mileage that a modern 4-stroke gets. Half what the Optimax 2-stroke got. So my plan is to put a brand new 4-stroke on this boat, or possibly another boat I have maybe in the forecast down the road. We'll see. I'm poor, guys. $20,000, because not only is it the motor, I have to replace the hydraulic steering. This hydraulic steering will not work with that new motor, with a new 4-stroke. That's that. Only problem I've had with this motor so far, and it's good now. I burned a voltage regulator up in it one day. Boy, it was rough. I came running back in, I stopped, and it wouldn't idle. And when it stuck, burn a voltage regulator up. That's pretty minor stuff. I think it got loose and shorted out. That's the only thing. I put a 4-blade prop on experiment. It does pretty good. Of course, like my 3-blade prop, it needs to be reworked. Hardly any of these props are any good after they've been used very long. These little nicks and things you get on them affect them tremendously. That'd be another winter thing to maybe get props worked on. It's not cheap, and find a shop that I can trust, because I don't know anybody anymore. I've been out of this business for 22 years. You gotta have good wheel on the back, guys, and critical. Another thing somebody asked me about was a jack plate. It would be a waste of money for me to put a hydraulic plate on a boat. It'd just be a waste. We sold them back in the day. And so many people burnt motors up on them because they always run them too high, run the motor out of water over and over and over, and it eventually led to destruction. If I was fishing around the country, fishing tournaments, especially in the South, low in reservoirs, I could see it. But to spend $1,600, $1,800 on a hydraulic plate, I'll put that money into something else. So that regular two-piece plate's fine. I will have to probably change the height on it for a 4-stroke. That'll be some experimentation. Because I could care less about going wide open, but you need all the performance you can get. Because if a boat isn't performing at its best wide open, it's probably not performing well other places. So again, that's part of the fun of it, I guess. I'd rather fish, but whenever that motor gets here, it's still forever out, maybe a year, who knows, which is fine because I don't have enough money yet. I'm gonna have to sell some more stuff. I'm poor. I can get by with this for a while yet. It just keeps me from doing long runs. And I don't believe in running long a lot of times, but sometimes you got to go places. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Otherwise, everything else in the motor's been working fine. I put a new water pump in it when I first started. Motor's good, and I'm running non-ethanol high dollar gas, $4.26 last time. I think it's worth it in the long run. It's a cheap insurance deal to run good gas in one. Somebody else asked about the recessed foot pedal tray. All the years that I fished tournaments, I had one boat by accident that had a foot control troll motor. I had one that was on purpose for a while. I got sponsored by Minn Kota back in the day. I always had hand control troll motors. Now, there's a lot of advantages to hand control, but being older now, I decided those advantages probably don't outweigh my, I don't know. Minn Kota doesn't make one with a real good battery system, the Maximizer. Motor Guide does a hand control with a good, I'm not going to do a Motor Guide troll motor. Don't ask, let's not even go there. I don't care. I'm not going to do that. So that recessed foot pedal gets you standing more level, standing more flat. That's so important. My back and my balance as being an older guy, you've got to be able to do that. And it's easy to do. I put hundreds of, at least 100 of them in over the years. My little John Boat bass boat has one. It's very important for me to be able to be comfortable. It takes some strain off the back. I don't sit down fishing. I haven't had the butt seat or a fishing seat in the boat yet. I will in a couple of days. I'm taking a guy crappie fishing. I'll probably take my butt seat and lean and relax a little bit. But that's the reason for the recessed foot tray. It's not hard to do. I left the foot pedal all about the same dimensions. Actually, it's about as far forward as you can get it. I like to be up on the nose of the boat because I spend a lot of time pitching, flipping, shallow water stuff. And this isn't a huge deck. It's a big deck at the time, but it's not a full deck all the way to the console. So I want to keep things to the front of the boat. You're not stepping on rods and reels is bad. One other thing is the tack in the boat is not working properly. So I got a brand new, basically OEM tack for it. That'll be a pretty quick bolt-in deal, not a huge deal there. I did buy another spare troll motor prop because I believe in spare props, and I pretty much destroyed the first one. I fished some crazy wind a few days this boat. I got blown up on the bank a few times. I mean, horrible wind, especially for an old guy out of practice. So spare parts is important to me. So again, for whatever reason, a ton of people have watched that video from last week. I don't get it. I don't know what was. I wish they'd watch my fishing stuff. I've caught a lot of big bass, and on my other channel, my original Hickbilly channel, there's still a lot of fishing videos. I tried to start copying some of them over the more important ones to my bass fishing channel, and I'm having a hard time making that program work. I don't do technology very well. Oh, speaking of technology, there's not a depth finder on this boat that works right now. Not one depth finder. The in-dash flasher is not reading a transducer. Someday I'll look into that. It's not major. It's an old Lowrance 1240A, good flasher, noisy, but it's not reading. There's not a depth finder on the boat. Hadn't been critical this first 7 times I've used it because it's been spring. I don't do technology well. I got videos about that. I'll put the Hickbilly Outdoors. I've got several on there. Me ranting. Anyway. I gotta shut up about that forward-seeking radar love stuff. No, I don't. I ordered a graph for this boat last night. They've had the 10-inch Garmin's on sale for $1,000. Man, that's a lot of money for a depth finder. So I decided last night I was gonna go ahead and order one, and they're out everywhere. Of course they are. So once the next ones were out, screw it, I ordered a 7-inch Garmin. It is an EchoMac chart plotter. It's got the maps, which I think are great and safe. It's still, it is a side view, I believe, whatever. So I complain about technology, but when I complain about technology, it's a forward-looking, heat-seeking radar love that I don't like. I grew up with a graph and a flasher. That'll be on the console. I have not decided what to put on the front yet. I was going to just put a modern flasher, a color flasher, but man, they're $300, $400, $500. I can't decide. The money's part of it. I may put truthfully, my John boat bass boat, I have one on it. It's it's kind of for sale right now. Nobody's looking at it. It's just too much. People want a John boat around here. They want a John boat to go catfish and crappie fish on. They don't want it to be a bass boat. I may strip it off of there. I may strip the deck out to sell that thing as a John boat. Help pay for my new motor. But I do, that depth finder's supposed to be here Thursday. It'll be next week. I'll get it put on. Because it's summertime, I need to be able to look at some deeper stuff and get out there the same way I always did. I can do it without any depth finder ever, but you gotta have some safety involved too. I'm gonna be running places I don't remember. We got lakes are down right now. I think I better have something on the boat, leaves it safer. So I'm not gonna quantify myself by saying how low tech I am. Low tech for me is a plain old-fashioned graph, old-fashioned sonar. If I could find the right flasher for the front, without spending the same kind of money I spend on a good graph or decent graph, I don't know. It's a little bit quandary. Let me know what y'all think on that. I'm not going to do forward-seeking radar. That's where I draw the line. We'll see on the rest of it, but that'll be that's upcoming next week or so. Okay, like I said, I almost didn't do that last video. I almost erased it. It seemed boring to me, and over 1,700 people have looked at that thing in 4 days' time. I don't get it. Tell me why you watched it, why you haven't subscribed. I've got cool fishing stuff. I got stuff I think I can show people. But the boat thing is, I think a lot of people can relate. There's a lot of bass fishermen, a lot of guys like me that ain't got a lot of money. You can find a good square hull, solid hull. You can pay people to do the work, or you do a lot of it yourself as far as wiring and fixing things. Add things one piece at a time, doesn't hurt so much. The motor will hurt. It's gonna be $20,000 and change with the hydraulic steering. So I'm gonna have to sell a bunch of stuff. I'm not borrowing any money. This can be done. So if that's why people are watching this, that's great. That's good. Maybe I did something right for a change, because there's so many good fishing channels on. I'm not good enough fisherman maybe, but I'll put some links on and things, and try to get some of those videos swapped over to this channel. I catch a lot of big bass, a lot of bass on my kayak over here. I'm just trying to get this tournament thing figured back out. So thanks for watching, y'all. God bless. I'm not going to take that cover off today. It may shoot me a rooster before I'm done, though. Bye, y'all.